Welcome back to the Super Not Funny Show reviews. And today I'm reviewing Reservation Dogs Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2. And they're titled Bussin' and Maximus. And they're coming to you from FX streaming on Hulu. So, what did I think about them, and should you be watching? Before I get into the review, get down there, hit like on this video. Man, it feels like coming back to school after a long summer. It's been a long year away from the Res Dogs after a very emotional season finale last year where they really paid honor to Daniel and his desire to get to California, having a prayer slash, communing session with his spirit at the beach. But after that, what are they going to do? Bear's like, I'm not going back to the reservation. And everyone else just wants to get back home. So we start this episode in LA, and they're kind of stuck there. And someone has to come get them. And that's Aunt Teeny, who we were introduced to in the previous season during Alora's grandmother's death, or I guess her funeral. And she's, Alora's aunt that she never really sees. But I get a feeling from this first episode, Bussin', that's probably going to change. It's all about them catching a bus from LA to head back towards Oklahoma. And I, want to shout out to White Jesus because he totally stuck by them and helped them out. I love the way the kids, they kind of like took to him, and he really was kind of, a strange person, but also very much a protective figure. I like that character. I hate that we're probably never going to see that character again. And I also liked seeing Aunt Teeny come back again because I first of all, the actress who plays her is quite good. I've seen her in a few other things, but also she's just a different. She's a different presence on the show. She seems to have her crap together, but she reveals when she talks to Alora later on, that she probably lost her job coming out there to shepherd them back to the reservation. And maybe it's okay, maybe it's okay that maybe she needs a change in her life. And this maybe is an opportunity for her and Alora to get a little closer. Meanwhile, Cheese is like really, I guess he's just kind of going with the flow, but he's opening up a little more to Willie Jack. Like she learns that he's been drawing and really kind of getting good at it and expressing himself, through his art. And I love that Willie Jack. She's just like so dang supportive. That's my girl. That's my favorite person on the whole show. But unfortunately, she didn't get a ton to do in this episode. Because it really was more focused on what Alora, but really what Bear was going through. But I like that Cheese did get some good moments, especially talking to just some rando on the bus. That was fun times. But really, what's going on is Spirit is finally back in Bear's life. He spent most of season 2 sort of going around to other people, here and there, coming to Bear, but not really. But now he's back because he wants to encourage Bear to kind of go on a walkabout to figure himself out, which is, kind of a strange and maybe dangerous thing for a young man like Bear to do, to just walk around and hope for the best. But, he, for better or for worse, follows Spirit's advice, because... really, because he missed the bus. So, and that was really due to Spirit's like kind of interference. And also, I want to shout out to the writers of that first episode, Bussin', because I love that there's a reference to one of my favorite movies ever, which is Home Alone. When they're getting on the bus and they're like, "Where's Bear?" And there's a guy that sort of looks like Bear, and they count him, and then by the time they get to the reservation, they're like, "Where the hell is he?" And I'm like, why didn't y'all check on him? But to be fair, I think they were in Amarillo, so it wasn't that far away from the reservation. So I could understand why maybe they didn't think to check too much because he wasn't sitting with them. But this is it's an opportunity really for to just not just a reset, but just send Bear, who I in my eyes is really the heart of the show. Like last season, really kind of focused on everyone about equally, but we all know from the first season that Bear was the main character, and seeing him really finally, you know, deal with his whole daddy issues thing, where he, gave him his little pendant or whatever he was going to give, or he left it with his baby's mama and a note saying that, hey, I'm done with you. And that's a big step forward, a very big step forward for him as a character, and having total support, of course, from his friends in doing that. And I love that they didn't ride him for it or anything like that. Like they were empathetic and completely there for him, because they're the best of friends. You can't go through all the things they've gone through without being super supportive. Second episode is called Maximus, and it follows on Bear just following Spirit, and then finally kind of getting fed up with Spirit, who seems to have led him out into the middle of nowhere in either North Texas or Oklahoma, where he just finally, and he sees that he's kind of in sees another spirit that looks like a conquistador, and Spirit really kind of, he's doing his spirit thing. He's kind of vague and having these bits of advice, and Bear's just kind of had enough of it and just dismisses him, which and I felt bad for Spirit in that moment, because I guess he felt like it was his job to get Bear to where he needs to go, and like clearly Bear's just like, this is BS, and that leads to him kind of getting hijacked or kidnapped, if you will, and taken to a strange farm, which is owned by a man named Maximus, who is he's a Native American, also a conspiracy theorist. He's a conspiracy nut, and he thinks the government's out to get him and everything like that. And he talks about star people, people from space, and how to greet them, and Bear's just like, who is this crazy man, and like, how do I get the hell away from him? But then something funny happened, in that he connects with this old guy, and shout out to, again, the writing, where he is from the same reservation that Bear is from, but he's just he'd been away from there because, as he says, people have locked him up and done electric shock therapy on him and everything like that. So apparently he's been in and out of mental institutions all of his life. But more to the point, when he talks and kind of shows some pictures or whatever to Bear, or this might even just be flashbacks, if you're eagle-eyed and listen, you'll notice that he knew and ran with Alora's grandmother. So there's a connection there that I think Bear didn't make, but he could have. But he just knew that he was from the reservation. I love the way that they came together. Like it seemed like they were kindred spirits, but also that Bear finally maybe found someone he could be around, and he settled into the idea of not going home, but actually staying with this crazy old guy, and maybe helping him out and just kind of figuring himself out while he's there. And it's that part of the episode. That episode really was. I was cool with everything that was going on, but then what really made this a great episode in my eyes was at the very end, when you see two things. One, yes, that Maximus is mentally ill, like he is, but also that even in his mental illness, he was looking out for Bear, and that this whole little thing that he did about offering the eggplants to the star people and everything like that was really his way of coping with his mental illness and the constant in and out cycle of going into state custody because of his mental illness. And I just cried about that. I can't even hold back. That whole thing up until that point, I was like, okay, what is this episode? I get this. This guy's kind of a weirdo and everything. Cool bears, you know, coming, getting close to him. But the part where I realized what was going on and where that he was being taken away and that this was not something that was new, but in fact had been done before, it just kind of broke me. And I had to let tears run because it's just a sad and unfortunate, experience for him, especially, he's in his 70s. Probably this has been happening all his life. And he's just clinging to some story to make it make sense for him. And Bear just having to sit there and witness it. It was, very tough. But I liked where this left Bear. I liked it where it left him as a character, as a person. I liked that he had this opportunity to kind of meet a bit of a spirit guide for himself, to give him a new perspective and to kind of, give him some supplies and set him on his way. And I like that he respected Maximus enough to kind of go through and take care of his plants and everything. It was really beautiful. These first two episodes, this is a show that I just absolutely love. I mean, there's been, 4 or 5 shows in the past few years that just I'm an unreserved fan of, and I love when they're on. I love everything that's going on with them, and for me, it really did feel like just seeing old friends again, and just rooting for them to just make the best of everything that's going on. I love the writing in this. I love the directing, the acting, everything in these shows. This is a top notch show, and I can't recommend it enough. So, anyway, those are all my thoughts on these first 2 episodes. What did you guys think about them? What did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there, and of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps with the channel, helps it to grow, and helps more people to see these videos. All right, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We are going to talk about episode 3 of Reservation Dogs in its final season. Until then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.